Stella stood at the very edge of the enchanted forest, her wings flickering with a fading, ghostly light that mirrored the dying magic of her home. Before the assembled fairies, the queen held an empty velvet cushion, her face etched with a deep, ancient worry. "The crystal of courage is gone," the queen announced, her voice echoing through the silent trees. "Without it, our magic dies by the next full moon." A collective gasp rippled through the crowd, a wave of pure terror. No one moved. No one dared to look toward the horizon where Shadow Mountain loomed, a place where light itself went to die. Stella looked down at her trembling hands, feeling the weight of the silence. Then, she stepped forward. "I will go," she whispered. Her voice was barely audible, but in that moment of despair, it sounded like a thunderclap. The journey into the unknown had begun. The journey began under a harsh, unforgiving sun that beat down upon her fragile wings. Stella had barely crossed the first meadow when she heard it. A frantic, desperate squeaking. A rabbit was pinned beneath a thicket of razor-sharp thorns, its eyes wide with panic. Stella looked toward the looming silhouette of Shadow Mountain. Every second mattered. The fate of her entire world rested on her speed. Yet, she could not turn away. She knelt in the dirt, her fingers bleeding as she pried the jagged branches apart. The rabbit scrambled away, safe at last. She pushed on, her breath coming in ragged gasps as she reached the mountain's base. There, she found fireflies crushed under a rotting log. Bracing her shoulders against the heavy wood, she heaved until her muscles burned, until the fireflies burst free into the evening air like living sparks. As she reached the maw of Shadow Mountain, the temperature plummeted. The wind shrieked like a wounded animal, trying to drive her back. Stella hesitated at the entrance, her feet rooted to the cold stone, but she forced herself forward into the pitch-black tunnel. Deep inside, the crystal of courage pulsed with a faint, dying rhythm on a stone pedestal, but it was not unguarded. A shadow dragon, its scales like polished obsidian, and its eyes burning with malevolent heat, blocked her path. It lowered its massive head, a mountain of darkness standing between Stella and the light. The dragon's breath smelled of ancient smoke and forgotten fears. Stella felt smaller than she ever had before. She was a tiny spark in a world of endless night, facing a creature that had never known the sun. She gripped her dress, waiting for the end. Suddenly, a high-pitched chirp pierced the gloom. A baby bird tumbled from a high ledge, plummeting toward a dark, bottomless abyss. In that split second, Stella did not look at the dragon. She did not think of the crystal. She dove. Her wings strained against the heavy air as she snatched the bird from the void just inches above the chasm. She landed hard on the jagged stone, clutching the small, shivering creature to her chest. Her heart hammered against her ribs like a trapped bird of its own. She looked up, expecting the dragon's fire, but the dragon stood motionless. Its fiery gaze was no longer predatory, but softening into something resembling respect. "You faced the darkness," the dragon rumbled, its voice like shifting earth. "Bravery is not the absence of fear, but the choice to act in spite of it." The dragon stepped aside, revealing the path to the pedestal. The crystal flared with a blinding golden brilliance, washing over Stella in a tide of warmth. Her wings ignited with a radiant, steady glow that banished every shadow in the cave. She emerged from the mountain not as a victim of the dark, but as a beacon of light against the night sky. Back at the festival, the fairies watched in awe as she placed the crystal upon its cushion. Color flooded the forest once more. The flowers bloomed instantly and the air hummed with renewed magic. Stella looked at her glowing hands. She realized then that she no longer feared the shadows. The journey had changed her forever. She knew now that true strength was not found in her fairy magic or the glow of her wings, but in the courage she had forged in the dark. The forest was saved, but more importantly, Stella had found her own light, a light that would never fade again.